Welcome everyone, welcome to the My Kingdom is Not of This World tape group, and this is the last episode of this series, and we're starting today with a meditation that's derived from the tape that we're going to listen to later. And so Joel comes with very plain instruction today, and that's what we're looking at in the preparation for listening to the tape. Like if you really would want to encounter the miracle that is possible, do this week, he says, and there's an instruction connected to that. So that's what we're looking at as a preparation for listening to the talk. And in the talk, he will tell more about it. So this is your chance. In other words, this is your chance. Well, do this for just 1 week. Do this. And then he gives this instruction. You'll see what that is. Now the meditation that we're doing brings, it's a sort of a conclusion, it brings everything together that we look at in this series. And that's what I love about the meditation. Joel is in 1964, he's teaching, and he's right on. He's like, okay, there's nothing going to happen if it's not in your consciousness. Like outside your consciousness, there's nothing. If you want to, if you don't experience this, what is given, then it's not there. It simply isn't experienced. It isn't yours already. It isn't yours in your experience. So it is like, you can keep reading about it, but you have to come to the point where you start to let this completely, in fact, affect you. Now, if you want to experience that this week, now you follow the instructions that are given later on. But the meditation is really bringing everything together in terms of, this is about knowing God aright. Knowing God aright. Knowing the truth will set you free. Not just the truth will set you free. Knowing the truth will set you free as a conscious experience. So Joel is literally hammering that in our consciousness. He's really bringing that in as a light insertion, with so much energy and with so much inspiration. It is just great to listen to that and to see that. So we're going to start with that, and we are going to be still with that and repeat it once more, just like that. So that's what I'm going to do, set up right now and share that with you.
Nothing can enter your life except through your consciousness. What you cannot become conscious of cannot take place in your experience. And if you do not become conscious of the presence of the Christ in me, if you do not become conscious of the presence of the Christ in you, if you do not become conscious of the presence of the Christ in the sick and in the sinning, you cannot experience Christ. Only the Christ that enters your consciousness is the Christ that you experience. So be sure, above all things, do not seek health, do not seek wealth. I'm speaking now spiritually. Do not seek virtues. Seek the realization of the presence of the Christ in man, all men. And then all of the things will be added unto you. Do you not see? Behind the wisdom of the world, there is one word that makes all wisdom come alive. And that word is consciousness. Consciousness is the secret word, and it is the secret behind every word. It is the secret behind the statement, "Ye shall know the truth." Take that statement into your thought for a moment. The Master did not say, "Truth will make you free." Just think of that, and think of the importance of that. He did not say, "Truth will make you free." Ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. It is your knowing, your consciousness, your conscious awareness. He did not say in the 15th chapter of John that God will make you bear fruit richly. He said, you must abide in the Word and let the Word abide in you. You must be conscious of the presence of God in you. You must be conscious of the presence of God in the rest of us. You must abide in it. And Paul confirmed it with, you must pray without ceasing. You must know the truth without ceasing, and then the truth that is held in your consciousness will make you free. Nothing.
Thank you. Thank you for being quiet with me and stay in your recognition. That doesn't need to be influenced by me sharing it all. So it is like, yeah, it's about this conscious contact. It's about, that's where the knowing occurs. Because this meditation or this contemplation, this part of the tape that we are listening to or just listened to, tells you everything about, in fact, about the essence of what is going on here. Like this is your chance to come into the recognition of what is given. See, an example of that is Joel says here, do not ask for health. And you say like, well, why not? Why not? Why would I not ask for health? Because I still live with ideas that sickness is a real thing. I have a sick child, I have a sick mother, I have a sick this, I have a sick that. Like now I'm not going to ask for health? How is that possible? So these are relevant questions to ask yourself. Like, why is Joel saying this? Why is Joel saying this? Like, doesn't he have any heart for the occurrences that are taking place, for the drama that is literally presenting itself in your world, in your experience of yourself? Like, how is that? How can we put that together? How valuable is this message that Joel is sending us here? So you need to ask yourself this, and you do. Of course you do. Because it feels like there are two different worlds. A world where you can get sick, and a world where that doesn't, where that simply isn't, where that doesn't exist. Now, you seem to be between two worlds. Joel spent many tapes about between two worlds. And that is a paradox, that's a conflict that will resolve. But how? Like, there's a conflict there. I see this, and this is presented to me. Wholeness is presented to me, and I see sickness. Now, what am I going to do with that? So this is where we come down to the real practice of this. It's like, now what if I don't ask for health? What if I recognize that God does not know about sickness? God does not know about lack and limitation. So where is this God? It has obviously nothing to do with the world that I'm perceiving, because I see all these things. Obviously, like I see all these things and I believe them to be true. I believe them to be my world. I'm identified with it. I'm a total part of it. I'm suffering in it. I experience the consequences of this world. I do all these things. I'm concerned about it. This is a normal response to the world. Like, it means that you feel what is going on. You feel that there is conflict, that there's war, that there's attack, that there's murder, that there's all these things. Now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? Not asking for health, not praying for peace, not doing all these things that you did in church, that was so normal to do that, and you secretly might still do it. Or maybe you do it with full confidence that there is a God that is actually going to resolve all this temporary problem. So this is how fundamental this is. And this is why it brings everything together in my kingdom is not of this world. Like, that has to be true. Because God did not create war. God did not create lack or limitation. He did not create sickness, pain, disease, disaster, and all this. Like, he did not create that. So the part of us, of like the practice of us, given by Joel in the Infinite Way teaching, is really bringing us to the point where we can apply this to our so-called daily affairs. We can apply it, but actually it is the other way around. You bring it back to the essence of yourself. What is that? I'm not of this world. My kingdom is not of this world. Like, here we are. No, there are no opposites. Basically, I have to calm down my concepts about what everything is. I have to let it sink in. I have to let it calm down and let it be, changed for me, because I don't appear to be able to do that. I cannot think other thoughts than the ones that I'm thinking. When I trust my thoughts, I'm literally stepping right into hell. Because I believe the images that I see, I believe the mesmerism of the hypnotism that I find myself in. So here, coming back to our practice, how do we do this? Be still, listen, meditate, be still. What is true prayer? Communion with your source, with God. Calming down your concepts. Letting your emotions for what they are. Sinking deeper into yourself. In the meditation, in the contemplation. Sinking deeper into yourself. Where do you end up? Right here. Right now, right here. In the presence. In the presence where everything is given. Where everything is complete. Where there's no lack and limitation and sickness of any kind. This is the moment. This is the day. This is the moment. This is the place where you can experience peace. That is happening right here within you, despite of what seems to be occurring by the images that you see. And I think it's even more obvious now with your phone. You see the whole world flash by on your phone. You see like, oh my God, oh that's so, oh my God, that's so terrible. Oh my God, look at that, and this and that. It keeps on going. Like, that's literally your anxiety feed coming to you. And you can open it up and take a look and scroll through it until you're satisfied in your terror, and you put it down again. And you become accustomed to it and think that that's part of your life. It's kind of strange way, it's kind of exciting. If you're honest with yourself, you like it, even though you don't like it. But that conflict is, you got used to that. But here we are. You put down your phone, you put down your world, you set everything aside for a moment, you close your eyes for all the images that you see, and you sink deeper into yourself. It's like, oh yeah, I and the Father are one. I and the Father are one. That means God created me. That means the love that God is created me. So I must be that too. I want to know what that is. I want to find out. I want to experience what that is. Where, when can that be given me? It can happen right now. I allow myself to sink into this moment, into this stillness, into this, and I breathe and relax and take it easy with my concepts. I'm not taking them serious for a moment. And I become still. And I experience just a little glimpse of love. Suddenly something shifts in my consciousness. And there I go. It's like, I forget about time. Suddenly my meditation takes 10 minutes or even longer. I have no idea. I don't even have any idea about time. But suddenly there's a communion taking place. And this is the very simplicity of this program that you find yourself in. This is the simplicity of the practice of the infinite way. Just to relax into this moment, to become still, to listen, and to just bring in some truth about yourself. I and the Father are one. That is my present for today. That is given to me. That is Jesus speaking right to me. Like, I and my Father are one. That is the Christ I recognize in myself. That is the Christ that I can recognize in all my brothers. That is what unites us. That's what I start to see everywhere if I realize that my kingdom is not of this world. I can forgive my brother for everything that I have perceived but has no reality whatsoever. My brother didn't do anything to me. I forgive my brother because what I saw didn't happen at all. So here's a new moment. Whatever happened before is gone. Here's a new moment where I step into my recognition of my love for my brother. I recognize the Christ in him by just allowing that to occur and not bringing anything else in as my ammunition against my brother. I'm not going to do that. I put it down. I put up my sword. I'm not going to attack with it. I'm letting it behind. And this is the practice that Joel will share with us in a moment too, with the, if you do this for 1 week, then. And I love that. So that's why this was just a bit of preparation after the meditation. But now we're going to take a look at what Joel actually says about this 1 week. If you do this 1 week, you're going to have a whole different experience altogether that has nothing to do with this world. Like in every episode, of course, but it's like this is another one. If you wish to behold a miracle, Joel says, do this for 1 week. So it is as you read the Infinite Way writings or hear its message, please remember this. You are not going to bring your sins and diseases and ask us to get rid of them. You are going to bring yourself and ask that you awaken to the Spirit of God in you. And in that awakening you will discover that the sins and the diseases and the lacks will begin to vanish. Your one purpose is going to be, I want to wake up out of this dream of limitation, out of this mesmerism that seems to be the only thing that I believe to be true. I want to literally awaken to the Spirit of God in myself. In this way, when you will not pray that you become more loving or that you become more just or unbiased, but you will pray rather that the Spirit of God flows through you and carry love, justice, equality, equity to all those whom you meet. You will not pray that you forgive your enemies. You will find that this is rather difficult if you haven't already, but pray rather that God forgive your enemies, that the Spirit of God in you forgives the Spirit of God in you. Love. Your part is merely a recognition. Whether or not you see it with your eyes or hear it with your ears, acknowledge that the Spirit of God dwelleth in me. Your part is merely a recognition. So this is Joel cuts this short. Joel cuts this short with the idea of even forgiveness, like let God forgive. Like if you forgive in your human ways, then you're still making the occurrence that seemed to have happened real by trying to forgive your brother. If he's eligible for that to happen. It's like, no, you have to give this completely away because you cannot do it. You need help with that. And God can take care of that for you, because the only thing that you have to do is basically let it go. And the recognition part is the most important. Like, I have to recognize what is given me. And I can only do that if my mind, if my consciousness is empty. Then I can receive. Then it can come to me. This recognition that God is with me, that God loves me, and all this, all the good news that is given us, all that. And then you look at each other and acknowledge that the Spirit of God dwell in each and every one of you. And that as you go out onto the street, do not look past anyone. Remember, you may not pass anyone on the road or on the side. Don't pass anyone without a recognition, without acknowledging that the Spirit of God dwells in each and every one of you. Just do that this week. Just do that this week. Acknowledge the Spirit of God in everyone that you meet. Don't walk just by. Now acknowledge it. Make it conscious. Make it a conscious experience. That was what Joel was so-called hammering in the contemplation that we did. Make this a conscious move of yourself. You can only do that. It only needs to be recognized in you. So that is a really great message. It's like it is only you have to recognize it. Like, why do we do this? If it's true that the Spirit of God is in everyone, why do I need to prove that to myself? Could be one of the questions that you have. Well, this is only for you to recognize. God knows about it. Like, God knows about the perfection of His creation. But you have to come into a conscious awareness that the Spirit of God is in each and every one of us, as it is in you. And that is a day by day. That's literally our practice. That's a day by day occurrence. But do this for just 1 week. Everyone that you meet, every occasion that you walk into, consciously bless everyone. Recognize the Spirit of God is within you. Whatever you tell me, whatever the picture seemed to be, it doesn't change. The Spirit of God is within you. This is the message. This is the training. This is, if you want your life to be changed forever in a totally unexpected way, simply do this. Give God all your judgment. Give it all away. Acknowledge in everyone. Whether you do that just by the words inside yourself, like by the words like, the Spirit of God is within you. The Spirit of God is within you. I recognize the Spirit of God within you. I'm aware of that at this point because this is my exercise for this week. Every encounter I have, I bring that back to myself. I recognize the Spirit of God in you as I recognize the Spirit of God within me. Sometimes you just have to start using the words for yourself to acknowledge it. Basically to train yourself to think in a whole different way. In that sense, Joel is right. That is the way that it works. That's absolutely right. It needs to be confirmed for you every quarter of an hour, every 5 minutes if necessary, depending on how many you meet. But you don't want to lose this out of your consciousness. It needs to be trained. Because what do you do with your eyes? What do you do with your pictures that you see, the images that you see? You make them real. You think it is something. And of course, that's all right. Now you let go of that, because it doesn't have any reality. Whatever you think is going on is not going on at all. It's just a past idea that you see flying by. And nothing is new that you're seeing as images. Like it's all past experience. It's all gone. It's all past. Otherwise, you're not able to even see it. So the seeing that I mean is really perceiving it. You only see what is already over. There's nothing new there. There's nothing created on the spot here. So this is what changes everything. Now I'm going to be still. I'm going to consciously be still in this instant to recognize this is all there is. What do I need to do for that? Nothing. Just letting that be. I acknowledge the Spirit of God in myself. That is teaching me everything. That is showing me everything. That is nourishing everything within me. That is rejuvenating me, every cell of my body. That is bringing harmony back into my life. But only by my acknowledgement that this is taking place within me, as it is taking place without exception in anyone that I meet. Now I enter into the realm of knowing, because I don't see differences anymore. Here is my brother, and this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. It is like that. It's like the voice of God starts to speak to you. This is my beloved son. That is you, but that's also your brother. There's no difference. You must look at everyone you meet and consciously remember the Spirit of God dwells in you. And you may be setting them free from sin, some disease, some lack, by your acknowledgement of the Spirit of God that dwells in them. But basically you do this for yourself. If you wish to behold a miracle just for 1 week, consciously practice this in every bus in which you travel, in every plane that you fly, in every store that you enter, every office that you open a door into, every edifice. Look right at the individuals in your path and acknowledge silently, secretly, sacredly, the Spirit of God dwells in you. The Spirit of God dwells, say after me, the Spirit of God dwells in you. The Spirit of God dwells in you, like also the Spirit of God dwells in me. And that Spirit of God in you is freedom from the fetters that bind you. Now, if you wish to behold a miracle just for 1 week, do this, consciously practice this. Everywhere you go, in every occasion, no exceptions, like literally no exceptions have to be made, because it's like that literally is working all the time. Now your conscious awareness is going to change everything. You are conscious now that this is an option to you. So that means that if you don't practice this, you will not see the result. If you practice this, I can assure you, within 1 week, you have a glimpse of God that you haven't had for a while. It will be like literally opening up the heavens to you, like it will bring you right in the middle of the heart of mysticism and the heart of God. And that's exactly, it's like you only have to do this 1 week and the door to heaven is open. The door to heaven is already open, sure. Now your conscious experience of that is right here. Like that can happen despite circumstances, situations, and all this. I use this in the meditation. You could see these 3 figures in the end. Like imagine these guys were on the cross. For instance, Jesus with the two of the prisoners who were crucified together with Jesus. And Jesus said, even there, in the middle of not quite nice circumstances, he said, today I will walk with you in paradise. Like, did he judge? No, absolutely not. He set his brother free. Was he aware that the Spirit of God was dwelling in him and in his brother? Absolutely. Did it literally take them out into heaven? Yes, it did. Absolutely. So will you. Like, there's no justification for any resistance to that. If you're the one hanging on the cross and still come into the practice because you have been practicing this and you have this available as a healing tool for yourself and for everyone else, now you can consciously bring that to your brother and set him free, despite of the appearances of hanging on a cross. Had nothing to do with the situation whatsoever. Here's the resurrection in progress. Like, this is where it happens. Bring your brother home. Don't leave him behind. Don't leave him behind with your sick and insane ideas about sickness, pain, and death. Don't leave him behind. Bring him back to where he belongs. Today you will enter into paradise. The Spirit of God is dwelling in you. It's right here, right now, happening to you, and it's given to you. And it's only for you to practice and be aware, because if it isn't in your consciousness, it is not happening at all. This is the toughest message of the infinite way. It really is. This is called recognition and realization. It's the part where you go beyond the words, you go beyond everything that's written, everything that is spoken, and actually take it and make it your own and extend it to your brother. That is what you as the light of the world, or you as the I'm not of this world, I'm literally residing in the Spirit of God. I am Spirit. So this is a great message. Now Joel is going to go deeper into that with us today in the tape that we're going to listen to. And yeah, I can't wait to hear that. So thank you so much. And let's listen to Joel.
Abiding in this truth, then you are a branch of a tree that bears fruit, and bears fruit richly. But if you are not abiding in this awareness, you are a branch of a tree that is cut off and withers and dies. And as you so well know, mankind for 2,000 years has not been consciously abiding in the truth that Christ is incarnate in man. Rather, the world has been waiting for Christ to reappear, as if Christ had ever left us. Christ has never left the center of your being or mind, although we have left Christ in turning our attention away to a God supposedly in heaven, or a God who is only a God to us when we are good, according to some human standard of goodness. Now, in the measure that you become separated from God in your own belief, because real separation cannot take place. I and the Father are one is a universal relationship, and that which God hath joined together no man can put asunder. And God joined God the Father and God the Son in a relationship of eternal oneness. But just as the prodigal could disinherit his father, and you notice the father didn't disinherit the son. It was the prodigal son who disinherited the father and turned his back on him. So we can disinherit the Father, turn our backs on the Father, and look for some far-off God, or accept some nonsensical belief that God doesn't love us when we're bad, and probably even that God doesn't love us when we die, or God doesn't love us when we're sick, all of which is utter nonsense, because the well man needeth not the truth, and the pure man probably needeth not the God. It is the sick man that needeth, it is the sinner that needeth, and in the moments of our greatest problem is when we most need the realization that God has not forsaken us. Please believe Scripture when it tells you that if you make your bed in heaven, you'll find God there. If you make your bed in hell, you'll find God there. If you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you will find God there. Believe this Scripture and claim omnipresence. Here where I am, God is. All that God is, I am. All that the Father hath is mine. And the worse the appearances are, the louder you must claim it. The firmer must be your conviction that this problem exists only because we have turned our backs on God, not that God has turned his back on us. Now, we are all victims of a universal belief in two powers, and all religion throughout all centuries has tried to make God a power over evil, a power that heals disease, or a power that heals sin, or a power that heals poverty. Back in the paganistic days, they invented that God because in one season there weren't enough fish running, another season there wasn't enough cattle running or birds, not enough rain or too much, and they had to invent some kind of a superpower to supply their need. Unfortunately, we have gone on with that mythical God and still praying to it to do for us what it hasn't done for anyone in the past 4,000 years or 5. Evil is not a condition that God changes. Evil is a condition that we change. And the Master gave us a formula. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And so, if we are in bondage to sin, disease, lack, limitation, unhappiness, injustice, the answer does not lie in praying to God to do something about it, but in knowing the truth. And the truth is, God in the midst of you is the answer to every problem. The realization of God in the midst of you is the answer to every problem, because where the presence of God is, there is liberty from that bondage, whatever its name or nature. Wherever God is realized, there is your freedom from whatever form of limitation or bondage previously existed. This was the original revelation to me that set me on this path, that where God is realized, freedom takes place. that where God is not realized, the bondage continues, individually and collectively, individually, nationally, and internationally. There is no God except where God is realized. I illustrate to our students in our classwork that in this room there is neither good nor evil. There are no good powers and there are no evil powers in this room. This room is just a room. If at this moment there is good in this room, if there is a healing consciousness in this room, if there is a loving consciousness in this room, we brought it. I brought it, and you brought it, and whatever degree of love, of life, of benevolence, of healing, of justice, of equality there is in this room, we brought it. Some other group might come in here and bring evil. They might bring gambling, and they might bring liquor if it's permitted. They might bring lust. They might bring hate, envy, jealousy. It wasn't in this room. They brought it. And so it is. We carry with us the kingdom of God. If so be, we will acknowledge God in the midst of us. At first, it may be necessary that we agree that Moses attained God realization, that Buddha attained, that Gautama, the Buddha, attained God realization. It may be necessary that we acknowledge that Jesus acknowledged or attained God realization, John and Paul and many other people. If by acknowledging that they attained God realization, it brings to us the thought, well, if they, then why not me? Surely they weren't all born saints. Meister Eckhart, Jacob Boehme, William Law, they weren't all born saints. Then let us acknowledge that if they attained God realization, and if they taught it, it must mean that they meant that we could attain it, otherwise they would not have taught it. None of them taught that they had an exclusive right to the kingdom of God. Not one of these taught that they alone were holy men. I question if any of them taught that they were holy men at all. But they did teach that holiness was possible to us. Then, with that acknowledgement, we can take the next step and say, all right, I know my own limitations, I know my own faults, I know my own human errors, but at least I now have the hope of attaining some measure of God realization, and then we go on from there. Now, my first experience with a spiritual experience was that my habits were changed. Smoking dropped away, social drinking dropped away, card playing dropped away. Not that they were sins, but that they were no part of spiritual being. They were no necessary part of a spiritual life. Then ills of the flesh began to drop away. And then a whole change of nature took place. And so I discovered that the more and more that I came into an inner meditation or communion with the Spirit of God, the more harmonious my outer life became. Not by might, not by doing anything, not by powers, just by this inner communion with the Spirit. Then I discovered that others came to me and asked for prayers and healing and received it. Now, I never once prayed to a God to heal them. In fact, it never entered my mind that this was possible. I merely closed my eyes, went inside, until I felt that Spirit move within me, and then discovered that they experienced healing. And ever since then, over a period of 35 years, I have learned that as I feel this presence stirring within me, healing and harmony and peace takes place out here among those who look to me. Now my experience has gone further, and I have discovered that those who have become our teachers and our practitioners are those in whom the Spirit of God has become awake. In other words, the Spirit of God was in them from in the beginning, before ever the earth began. But, like myself, they lived perfectly human lives. Not perfect human lives. I haven't found one of us yet who was quite that. But they lived perfectly human lives with some good and some evil in it, some sickness and some disease, good human traits and bad human traits. But through their studies and meditations, they attained this awakened Spirit of God, and then as they did, they found their own lives becoming healthier and wealthier and more peaceful, and then gradually others coming to them and finding that through their consciousness, healings took place. Now this really is the secret of the message of the infinite way. This is not a teaching in which we have God over error, or mind over matter, or truth over error. This is a revelation to the effect that when the Spirit of God comes awake within you, or when we become awake to the Spirit of God in us, that the discords evaporate, dissolve, and disappear. That the presence of God realized in us is liberty, and all bonds fall away, all fetters fall away, all enslavements and limitations fall away. So it is that as you read the Infinite Way writings or hear its message, please remember this: you are not going to bring your sins and diseases and ask us to get rid of them. You are going to bring yourself and ask that you awaken to the Spirit of God in you. And in that awakening you will discover that the sins and the diseases and the lacks will begin to vanish. In this way, then, you will not pray that you become more loving, or that you become more just, or unbiased, but you will pray rather that the Spirit of God flow through you and carry love, justice, equity, equality to all those whom you meet. You will not pray that you forgive your enemies. You will find this rather difficult if you haven't already. But pray rather that God forgive your enemies, that the Spirit of God in you forgive. the Spirit of God in you, love. Your part is merely a recognition. Whether or not you see it with your eyes or hear it with your ears, acknowledge that the Spirit of God dwelleth in me. And then look around at each other and acknowledge that the Spirit of God dwell in each and every one of you. And then as you go out onto the street, do not look past anyone. Remember, you may not pass anyone on the road on the other side. You must look at everyone you meet and consciously remember the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. And you may be setting them free from some sin, some disease, some lack, by your acknowledgement of the Spirit of God that dwelleth in them. If you wish to behold a miracle, just for 1 week, consciously practice this in every bus in which you travel, in every store that you enter, every office, every edifice. Look right at the individuals in your path and acknowledge silently, secretly, sacredly, the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. And that Spirit of God in you is freedom from the fetters that bind you. And watch within a week what a different reaction you get from the people you meet. Because of this, I can assure you, the love that we express is the love that is expressed back to us. The bread that we cast on the water is the water that comes back to us. The love that you bring into this room is the love that you will carry out with you. Be assured of this. What you haven't brought into this room, you are not going to carry out with you. This is a spiritual law. The bread that you cast on the water is the bread that will come back to you. And you need only read those wonderful passages in Matthew, the words of the Master. Inasmuch as ye have done it unto the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me, the Christ. Inasmuch as ye have not done it unto the least of these my brethren, ye have not done it unto me. And there you have the entire recipe for spiritual living. What you give, this is what you have. What you withhold is that which you do not have. And when you give the Christ to me, this is the Christ that you meet with. When you withhold the Christ from me, you withhold it from you, because there is but one me, and there is but one you. Inasmuch as ye have done it unto the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto yourself. For there is but one self. And always remember, because this is the vision that stays with me, I have never lost sight of this vision for a moment, that this is an empty room until we come into it. And then, whatever we have brought with us is that which we will find here. Therefore, when you enter an edifice, any edifice, carry with you the recognition of the indwelling Christ in every individual, and you will meet the indwelling Christ in every individual you meet. If you come in empty of the Christ, you will go out empty of the Christ, because no one can give you that which you yourself haven't got. All the Father hath is thine. Who could add to that? No one can add to that. It is a matter of your recognition. It is a matter of your claiming. But you cannot claim this virtue merely for Moses or Buddha or Jesus or John. Oh no, you cannot claim this only for the holy ones, and you cannot claim it only for yourself, and you cannot claim it only for your friends. No. No, it's very clear that unless you pray for your enemies, you cannot become children of God. And so it is. Bring love. Bring the Spirit of God into this room when you enter it. Bring the Spirit of God into hospitals and prisons, and you will find the Spirit of God there. All that the Father hath is mine. All of the love, all of the life, all of the joy is mine. And you know, Paul gave us a remarkable revelation that he had. Neither life nor death can separate us from God. Neither life nor death. Neither sickness nor sin can ever separate us from the love of God. It is the claiming of it that makes it an experience of ours. Nothing can enter your life except through your consciousness. What you cannot become conscious of cannot take place in your experience. And if you do not become conscious of the presence of the Christ in me, if you do not become conscious of the presence of the Christ in you, if you do not become conscious of the presence of the Christ in the sick and in the sinning, you cannot experience Christ. Only the Christ that enters your consciousness is the Christ that you experience. So be sure, above all things, do not seek health, do not seek wealth. I'm speaking now spiritually. Do not seek virtues. Seek the realization of the presence of the Christ in man, all men. And then all of the things will be added unto you. Do you not see behind the wisdom of the world there is one word that makes all wisdom come alive, and that word is consciousness. Consciousness is the secret word, and it is the secret behind every word. It is the secret behind the statement, ye shall know the truth. Take that statement into your thought for a moment. The Master did not say truth will make you free. Just think of that, and think of the importance of that. He did not say truth will make you free. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. It is your knowing, your consciousness, your conscious awareness. He did not say in the 15th chapter of John that God will make you bear fruit richly. He said, you must abide in the Word and let the Word abide in you. You must be conscious of the presence of God in you. You must be conscious of the presence of God in the rest of us. You must abide in it. And Paul confirmed it with, you must pray without ceasing. You must know the truth without ceasing, and then the truth that is held in your consciousness will make you free. This is what the message of the infinite way revealed to me in the beginning, that God does not set us free. It is the consciousness of God in us that makes us free. Where the consciousness of the presence of God is not, there is bondage. There is sin, false appetite, disease, lack, limitation, man's inhumanity to man. But where the consciousness of God is present, not where God is present, God is omnipresence. Where the consciousness of God is present, there is liberty, freedom, wholeness, completeness. And so please remember, carry the consciousness of God with you. Carry it up to heaven if you mount there, because you will not find God in heaven unless you carry him there. Carry the consciousness of God to hell if temporarily your pathway leads you there. Carry the consciousness of the presence of God into disease, into death, into hospitals, into mental institutes. Carry the consciousness of the presence of God into your buses. Above all, carry it into your polling places when you go to vote. Or you may not find the right man elected. Because man whose breath is in his nostril has a very great habit of selecting the wrong man. But the presence of God makes no mistake. And if we could all, just if 10 of us could carry the presence of God with us into our polling places, we'd elect the right man in every country. But, you see, this is the secret. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Where the consciousness of the presence of God is, there is freedom. And remember that. It is your consciousness of the presence of God that would give you your freedom if you were in prison. It would give you your health if you were in disease. Your consciousness of the presence of God. And then, when you attain that, your consciousness of the presence of God would give those of us in darkness our health or our freedom. This, you see, really constitutes the very basis of our message of the infinite way, and really ought to enable you to say, Joel, you will not have to conduct this class next week. We already have the class. Because you have. Thank you.
That was a great one. So next week there doesn't have to be a class because you already got it. It is already done. So thank you, Joel, for this class. It's really wonderful to listen to. And so I want to share with you 2 new things that are coming up. One new episode of the mystical moments that we have on Thursday. This starts at 8 a.m. Pacific time and 10 a.m. Central time. That is we always have some Christian mystic in the spotlight. Now this Thursday it is Joel Goldsmith is in the spotlight of the series Mystical Moments, and you're invited to join if you would like to do that. It's a great meeting where we look at the essence of what is being taught and use that as inspiration for expressing ourselves. You can see on the EV Hub website what that means, or you can consider it, but you're wholeheartedly invited to join. So now on, this was the last meeting of My Kingdom Is Not Of This World, and next week we start with a new 12 meeting series of the Heart of Mysticism. And this is basically the first episode because we can continue for a while with that. This is The Heart of Mysticism is a book by Joel, a collection of talks from 55 to 59. And so this time we look at the tape, we actually look at the letters from 57, sorry. In Holland you do this, you turn this around. So 57, the year 57, in The Heart of Mysticism. I looked for tapes that are corresponding with the subjects of every chapter. There's one section that really spoke to me, that I looked for a tape, and we're going to listen to that tape to use that as preparation for the intent of that specific section. So that's The Heart of Mysticism, and I say in the announcement of it, I share this as like, in this Heart of Mysticism, basically you learn to discern with your heart. So this is something that will come back on a deep level. We're actually going to hear what it says, just like we do now with My Kingdom Is Not Of This World. In this last episode, you see, we go really deep into what is Joel actually teaching. This is what he's doing, and here's the practical application of it that you can use in your daily life to literally come to a whole different experience altogether. So that's what we continue next Sunday with The Heart of Mysticism. And the first tape, I put it on the EV Hub YouTube already, and I will send you an email with more information, just like we weekly do. Now this is a great adventure again, because see, this is not just listening to a tape, that we obviously not. So I see it myself as giving my whole heart to it, and that means coming up with a meditation, making music for it, for the video, like composing music, taking time to actually do that, just to literally make it accessible, or give it everything, so that my love for this, my recognition, my conscious experience of this is actually extending through all of this. And that's just the way that's given me to do this like that. So your part in it is absolutely wonderful. I'm totally excited to continue with you in this tape group, and you're wholeheartedly invited to continue in the next 12 episodes of The Heart of Mysticism, which runs to probably the second week of June, I think. So that's quite a span, but it's wonderful. So hope to see you next week in The Heart of Mysticism. Thank you for now, and great project we just finished, and that's My Kingdom Is Not Of This World. It's like absolutely revealing truth to one another on a weekly basis, and even more than that. So thank you for your part in it, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.